Morning YouTube. Got up this morning, watched a few videos. I watched Eastcoastprepper's 72-hour bag competition. I'm going to enter that. I watched Gary at Bug Out Vehicles and Jeff Canuck on his trip from California through to the East Coast. And we've all got the Japanese disaster in the back of our minds, in our subconscious. And I think probably everyone has. As a natural disaster, a man-made catastrophe, I don't think it could get any worse. But how ready am I to pick up my entire world, put my family in the car and run for our lives? I'm not sure, but let's find out. Okay, so literally getting up from the computer, walking out to the car and seeing where we are. I keep this truck pretty much packed and ready to rock and roll, but even so, from time to time it still needs kit putting in and updating. Me personally, I think I'm just about there. That's my 72-hour bag on the right, a 4-man tent in the middle, and the orange bag is a very extensive pre-hospital care bag. I've been an ambulance paramedic for 20 years, so vehicle's always half full at any one time, with another 10 gallons of gas sitting there, so it's probably giving me about 1,000 mile tank range. Okay, let's see what we got, where we are in the garage. Into the garage, there's the bug out trailer, mostly packed, ready to rock and roll. Those load straps hold the top down, so they're about the only thing that's got to be put on. Dug out a few bits and pieces with regards to my medical kit. You know, I've been thinking about this for a little while now. Unique medical supplies to you and your family. So I've got a couple of crowns, and one came out recently. This is an emergency dental kit that I've laid my hands on, very simply just to put my own crowns back. I've done it once before, it worked pretty well. And some hydrocortisone cream for another little complaint that I have from time to time. This big bag, it's tough to get the wife and kids involved in all this, you know, and you don't want to push it down people's throats. But what I've done is, as they've come up with clothes that they didn't want anymore, or my wife was going to throw out, what I've done is I've just grabbed hold of them, stuck them in the washing machine, washed and ironed them, stuck them in that bag. That's a bag purely for my wife and my small baby. The other thing I've had going on since the Japanese disaster was a lot of those people, like I said, are never coming home. So I laid my hands on this. I kind of thought that this would be big enough for me and my family to live in, and the little sloping 45-degree tent we could use as a sleeping accommodation. So having a something has got to be a good idea. I kind of thought, you know, this is big enough to have a table and chairs in, to cook, to eat, to, you know. I've got the power trolley, so I guess my plan really is this is where we live. I haven't been able to lay my hands on the 9x9 steel frame that supports this tent, and I've had it lying around for some time waiting for the frame to come in. And so I just made one, you know, and I really am amazed at how sturdy this is, even though this is a timber built frame. You know, I've literally just harvested some timber, made a couple of A-frames with a ridge pole, and then the supports for the side. But something I've been meaning to show you for a little while. As soon as I'm happy with it, as soon as I finish playing with it, I'll take it down and pack it away. But for now, that's the thing in my mind's eye. You know, normally I'll have something laying around that I'm looking at, that I'm thinking about, that just keeps the situation in my subconscious. Let's look at this 72-hour bag. Okay, in the lid of my 72-hour bag, I've got a 2-litre water bladder, a millbank bag, which is a bag for filtering debris and small particles out of water. It won't kill any pathogens. but it's like a canvas sock. Fill it up to a level, allow it to sink into a mark on the bag, and thereafter collect the water. Purification tablets. Those tablets are actually one tablet for a 25 litre jerry can, so 5 gallons. Signalling equipment, got a firefly and a torch for signalling, you know, rescue helicopters. How many times have we seen people sitting on rooftops in CNN and World News? Couple of glow sticks, Motorola radio with a couple of spare batteries. You've got to remember to drag those batteries out and swap them over on a regular basis, you know, otherwise the big day you're just going to get that out, you'll have 2 dead batteries. And a light plastic sharpening tool for my knives. So that's the lid of my pack. First thing that comes out is this green bag, 72 hours worth of food, cooker, everything you need, 72 hours. Thing out, some waterproof trousers and some gaiters. I've got another mail sack. I still think that, you know, acquiring kit and equipment along route is going to be a very, very big part of surviving and making yourself quite comfortable. My intention is to acquire kit and equipment along the way. If I see it, you know, and I can, I'm taking it with me. Tri-folding shovel, great bit of kit. This is a tarp, bungees, washing and shaving kit in there, pretty much run of the mills. All of this is on my 72-hour bag video, so if you want a detailed insight to exactly what's in everything, you know, just go there and it's all laid out for you. This little bag is a kind of an admin bag, and that's really antibiotics, pills, potions, you know, spare batteries, a little bit of comms kit, anything that's toilet paper, anything that's kind of admin orientated, you know, goes in that little bag. This bag is all my tools really, so in there I've got my Gerber knife, Gerber saw, I've got a multi-tool, sharpening stone, all in a waterproof bag. What I tend to do is just run a very light covering of grease over the bits and pieces in that bag, and just ensures that when I get them out when I need them, they're not rusting away. That is a spare blade for my bow saw, but obviously with just that blade, you know, I can make a bow in the bush for it, heat a piece of wood over a fire, bend it over, got a bow saw. Suddenly the world's a different place. You know, you're starting to build a medium to long-term camp with it. Along with that is a good quality axe. You know, it's not the greatest axe in the world, but I put a good edge on it, and it's a very capable thing. In the white bag, spare clothes for 72 hours, so a warm fleece, underwear, t-shirt, socks, hat, gloves, just warm clothes. And in truth, the way to use that is simply to, you know, wear your wet or dirty clothes during the day, get wherever you're going, and of an evening put your dry clothes on and get in your bag. Last remaining thing in here is a 4-season sleeping bag, and I much prefer to use a 4-season sleeping bag. You know, I have had instances lately where I've been out and it's been too hot, so I've just slept with the zip open. Much better to be too hot than too cold. You know, if you're only getting 4 hours sleep, the last thing you want to be doing is laying there shivering for 3 hours of it. So I always go with the same 4-season sleeping bag. That's pretty much the contents of my 72-hour bag. Again, I've got another little personal first aid kit, so it's got extensive wound dressings in there, pills and potions that I might need purely to sustain myself. It's got suture kit, it's got some antiseptic, you know, run-of-the-mill personal first aid kit. So that's the contents of my 72-hour bag, and a little run round as to how ready me and my family are. Thanks to everybody that put videos up of their 72-hour bags. East Coast Prepper, great job, mate. Hope you're interested. Bye for now.